Next on Guitar Lessons with Tony Valley, we're going to be talking about learning your first chord, E minor. Learning your first guitar chord. We're going to be learning the E minor chord, and I want a little refreshment on the placement of your fingers on the frets and on your strings. Once again, this is your first fret, second fret, third fret, fourth, fifth, etc. Your strings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The E minor chord is going to use the first and second finger, and you're going to place your first and second finger onto the second fret. Now let's first of all start with your first finger. It's going to be moved to the second fret, fifth string. So let's move to the second fret and count down to the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now placing your first finger on there, you'd like it flat, not too much on the edge of your nail. You'd like it flat onto there. As time goes on and you continue playing, you're going to build a little bit of callus, so it's going to be easier. But if you want to get a good area right there, and make sure your thumb is on the back of the neck, not onto the side of the neck up here, but right on the back for a better positioning, and so your chord sounds clearer. Now you're going to be using your second finger for the next note of the E minor chord, and that finger is going to be placed onto the second fret, fourth string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're going to look like this. I have bigger fingers, so I kind of got to scrunch them up in there. And if you have big fingers, you're going to have the same issue right here. If you've got small fingers, you're in luck. You're fine. Now, for your right hand, you're going to take your pick, and you're going to start with the sixth string, and you're going to strum all the strings all the way down. Now, if you hear this, that's called a buzz. Now, what you want to do is you want to press down harder and squeeze harder with your thumb and your first and second finger like this. And that's going to get the note clearer. And again, that's the E minor chord. Your first finger is placed onto the second fret, fifth string. Second finger, fourth string, second fret. And again, strum all the strings on the right hand. Now once again, we're going to pick this apart. Your first finger will be placed on to your second fret, fifth string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second finger is placed right next to that on the same fret, second fret, fourth string. 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth string. Make sure your thumb's on the back of the neck. Strum all the strings with your right hand. And you want to keep strumming that. If your strings are not coming in clear, keep pressing down and move your fingers around just a little bit to get that clear. Because some of you might hear a little bit, just placement of the fingers is very important. Once again, that's your E minor. Now we're going to switch to the next chord, and it's going to be very similar to the E minor. It's going to be called an A sus2. Now don't get confused with all the names of the chords. We're going to get into that in a later lesson. E minor. Now the next chord, A suspended 2, is going to be placed on the same fret, but on two different strings. You're going to put your first finger onto the fourth string, same fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, the second fret, and your second finger on the third string, 1, 2, 3. Now in this chord, you're not going to hit the big string this time. Okay, so you're going to omit this string right here, and you're going to hit from your fifth string down. Now again, it looks just like the E minor chord, but it changes the whole name of the chord if it's moved to a different string. E minor, A sus2. E minor, A sus2. Now there are thousands of chords and so many different positions of your finger and hand position and finger position for different chords. Once you learn a few of them, they're pretty easy to get into all the other ones. And in other lessons we're going to continue on. And basically songs, what they are, they're chords put into groups. And as you learn more and more chords, you can learn more and more songs. So let's get back to the E minor chord. Now to the A sus2 chord. E minor, A sus2. Now repetition is key in playing these chords so you can memorize them. E minor, A sus2. E minor, A sus2. You might not think that's a lot of practice, but in time you're going to be able to memorize all these chords and be able to play many different songs and put them in different orders, and it's very rewarding. Next, we're going to be learning the C major 7 chord. Now again, don't get confused with all the names of the chords. E minor, A sus2, now to the C major 7. Now notice my finger position and the sound has changed. Again, each chord has its own sound and its own makeup. But remember, they're all chords. They're all chords. They're all in the same group. Now your first finger for the C major 7 chord is going to be placed onto the 2nd fret, 4th string. So 2nd fret, 1, 2, 3, 4. Your second finger will be placed onto the 3rd fret. Now this is different than what we've been working on. The 3rd fret, 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Always place your first finger, then 2nd, then 3rd, and then 4th when playing chords. It makes it easier to memorize, it makes it easier to place, so there's no mistakes. First finger onto the 4th string, 2nd fret, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2nd fret. Second finger goes onto the 3rd fret, 5th string, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now again, you're going to omit the 6th string on here. And if you ever have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me at tonyvalley@tonyvalley.com. It's TonyValley@tonyvalley.com. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to help you. No problem. First finger, second finger, omit the 6th string. And you're going to hit from the 5th string over. That's C major 7. So now we've gone through E minor, A sus2, and C major 7. Now they're all pretty close to each other, and what they have in common is they use your first and second finger. You want to play a lot of these chords that are very similar so you can memorize them and they're easier to switch back and forth to. We're going to go E minor, A sus2, C major 7. Back to A sus2, E minor. We can make up a song. We can do anything with those chords. Next, we're going to be working on strumming the 3 chords that you learned, the E minor, the A suspended 2, and the C major 7. Strumming your chords. We're going to start with your E minor chord, and you're going to need your right hand to strum down, but we're going to change things up again, and we're going to bring your pick up. Now the E minor chord, 2nd fret, 4th and 5th string. You're going to take your pick in the right hand, you're going to strum down and up. Now we're going to do this in groups. The group is going to be 4. We're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now again, this is down strum, and this is the up strum. Down, up, down, up. Now once again, we're going to group 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now before we switch to the next chord, this is going to get a little more complicated. Not that bad, but we're going to have to skip the 6th string on this chord and the C major 7 chord. this chord, the A suspended 2, you're going to play from your 5th string down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Up. And make sure to do this very slowly so you're very accurate on not hitting the 6th string. As you practice it, you'll be able to do it without hitting that 6th string. But for now, for practicing, you're going to hit it down, up, down, up. And you're going to do it 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Once again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And you can keep repeating that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we're going to go to the C major 7 chord, and again you're going to have to skip your 6th string. Down, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we're going to go E minor, and we're going to do this in groups of 4, but I'm going to go E minor, A sus2, C major 7. Once again, E minor, A sus2, C major 7. And we're going to be hitting the chord 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then switching to the next chord, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Then switching to the next chord, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you want to keep repeating it, you're going to go E minor, A sus2, C major 7. And as you practice these 3 chords, if you want to switch it around and do a different order, that's fine too. Just for now, practice that order and say the names of the chords as you play it for memorization's sake. Now, when I was talking about switching the chords up, you can start with the C major 7, go backwards, start with the A sus2, switch back and forth, whatever you like as time goes on, and practicing gets better for you. Once again, your E minor, A sus2, C major 7. You can put it in any order you want, but just make sure you're strumming in groups of 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now in the next episode, we're going to be getting into different chords, and we're going to slowly put these into groups, and we're going to make up some songs. And we're going to work on those next time.